friends, today I want to share this neat story called Rainbow Crow, retold by Nancy von Laan. Long, long ago, before the two-legged walked the earth, the weather was always warm and the animals were always happy. What a beautiful place. It's like paradise. But one day something happened to cause the earth to grow cold. Tiny crystals, glittering like diamonds, drifted down from the sky, covering earth with a sparkling softness. The animals, seeing snow for the first time, were not afraid. But soon the snow deepened and Mouse disappeared. The tip of his tail was all the animals could see, and they began to worry. That's all they can see. Then Rabbit disappeared. The tips of his ears were all the animals could see, and they worried more. At last they gathered together in the clearing deep inside the forest to talk about the weather. What was needed, they decided, was a messenger to travel at once to the great sky spirit and ask him to stop the snow. But who would be willing to leave Earth to visit the distant place where the sky spirit dwelled? Possum said Owl is the wisest, perhaps he should go. But no, the animals whispered, he might get lost in the light of day. So Owl should not go. Then Beaver said perhaps Raccoon should go. But no, the animals argued, he might follow his tail instead of his nose. So Raccoon should not go. Then Skunk said perhaps Coyote should go. But no, the animals shouted, Coyote is clever and loves to play tricks. He might chase the clouds or swallow the wind. So Coyote should not go. Scritcha, scritcha, screecha, 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 yippa, yappa, hi-yow, hi-yow. The noisy animals screeched and howled because they could not decide who should visit the great sky spirit to ask him to stop the snow. And so the snow grew deeper and deeper and deeper, and the small animals climbed on top of the tall animals so they would not disappear. Suddenly, down from the top of the tallest tree flew Rainbow Crow, the most beautiful bird on earth, who called out to all of the animals below in the sweetest voice of all birds. And he sang, I will go, I will stop the snow. And all the animals, happy at last to have Crow as their messenger, chanted a song of praise. Aya, 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 rain, Rainbow Crow. Stop the snow, Crow, fly to the hot sky high. Rain, Rainbow Crow. Aya, 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 aya. Then high up into the sky flew Rainbow Crow, far above the snow and the winds of the earth, way above the moon, the stars, and the clouds. For 3 days Crow flew until he came to the great sky spirit, who was too busy to notice. So Rainbow Crow began to sing, O great spirit in the sky, you rule the earth from way up high. You make the creatures large and small. You are the ruler of us all. You make the trees and flowers grow. You cause the wind and clouds to blow. You make the rain, you make the snow. You make the cold on earth below. O great spirit in the sky, for you I sing this lullaby. The great spirit stopped to listen. Never before had he heard such a sweet voice sing with such a beautiful song, and he told Crow to choose a gift. Now Crow knew that far below on earth the snow was getting so deep that soon all the animals would disappear. So he asked the great spirit to stop the snow. The great spirit replied, No, Crow, I cannot stop the snow, for snow has a spirit of its own. When Snow Spirit leaves the clouds to visit with his friend Wind Spirit, the snow will stop, but earth will still be cold. So Crow asked the Great Spirit to stop the cold. The Great Spirit replied, "No, Crow, I cannot stop the cold. All I can do is give you the gift of fire. Fire will keep you warm and will melt the snow that your friends will be content until warm weather returns." The Great Spirit picked up a stick and put a little bit of fire on the end of it and handed it to Crow. "I will give you this gift but once. Hurry, fly back to earth before the fire disappears." Off flew Crow. On the first day, the Crow flew down, showering sparks of fire darkened his tail feathers. On the second day, as Crow flew down, the fire burned brighter and the stick grew shorter, and all of Crow's beautiful feathers were covered with soot. On the third day, as Crow flew down, the fire was so hot and the stick was so short that the smoke and ash blew into Crow's mouth, and his voice became cracked and hoarse. "Caw! Caw!" And when at last Crow returned to the clearing in the forest, all the animals had disappeared. Only the tops of the tallest trees could be seen, their branches sprouting through the deep snow. So Crow flew down close to the pale, pale ground, around and around until fire melted the snow and his friends were safe. And this tiny stick of fire became the grandfather of all fires, and for this all the animals on earth thanked Crow. They danced and chanted a song of praise. "Aya, aya, 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 kind young brave Crow, saved us from the snow, flew to the sky high, brought back fire, now just plain Crow. No more rainbow, aya, 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 aya." At last Crow, all alone, flew off to a distant tree where he wept. He was no longer beautiful. He could no longer sing a sweet song. His rainbow feathers were gone forever. When Snow Spirit emptied the clouds and joined Wind Spirit, the snow stopped. But Crow still wept. The Great Sky Spirit heard Crow and came down from the sky. And when he saw Crow, he said, "Soon the two-legged will appear on earth. He will take the fire and be master of all but you. For being so brave and unselfish, I give you the gift of freedom. The two-legged will never hunt you, for your meat tastes like fire and smoke. The two-legged will never capture you, for your beautiful voice is now crackly and hoarse. The two-legged will never want your feathers, because your rainbow colors are now black. But your black feathers will shine, and they will reflect all the colors on earth. If you look closely, you will see. See the shimmer of his rainbow feathers?" Then Crow looked, and he saw hundreds of tiny rainbows shining in his black feathers, and he was content. The Great Spirit returned to his home in the distant sky, and Crow happily returned to his friends in the forest, proud that he was now Black Crow with shining feathers full of tiny rainbows. And the Rainbow Crow was the hero to all the animals on earth. He gave up the beautiful part of himself to save his friends, but he was rewarded by the Great Spirit by having rainbows in all of his feathers and his freedom, the greatest gift of all.